am, like, honestly still trying to catch my breath right now because we need to talk about the absolute, just unmitigated chaos of this week's Belle Collective.
Oh my God, I am still recovering.
Right. I mean, I am talking about Marlene sitting at a lunch table acting so aggressively unhinged that I actually pulled up my weather app to see if it was a full moon.
It had to be a full moon. There's no other scientific explanation for that behavior.
Exactly. And right alongside that literal marital destruction, we have a 2-year-old toddler entirely breaking Latrice's spirit in the span of, like, a single afternoon.
Completely dismantled her, just took her apart.
I am emotionally exhausted. I'm spiritually drained. And honestly, I am entirely ready to get into it.
Welcome back to the Snark Side, babes.
Welcome back, everyone.
We love you, we see you, and babes, the weekend has officially arrived, so let's make some questionable decisions together.
Preferably decisions that don't involve, dropping $100,000 on a failing restaurant or asking your mother for 40 grand for a weed dispensary. Oh, we will absolutely get to all of that mess. But first, we have giant, ice-cold limoncello spritzes on deck today.
They are so good, by the way.
Right. And the vibe we are channeling for this weekly recap session among besties is strictly rich aunt on vacation energy.
Oh, absolutely. Big sunglasses indoors.
Yes. We are talking flowing caftans, pretending we don't look at price tags. Cheers to surviving another week, my friend.
Cheers to that. And, speaking of surviving, the Snark Squad needs to know exactly what kind of messy energy they're carrying into this weekend.
Oh, it is time for your weekend snark horoscopes. I am so ready.
Let's see how you're all going to completely derail your own peace over the next 48 hours. Let's start with the earth signs.
Yes, please drag them gently. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, what is their cosmic forecast?
Okay, earth signs. I need you to listen to me very carefully right now. Your ruling planets are indicating a massive, just huge vulnerability to aesthetic capitalism this week.
Oh, no, not the aesthetic capitalism.
Oh, it's bad. You are about to blow your entire budget on completely unnecessary luxury items. Like, you are going to look at a $400 silk pillowcase and convince yourself that it is an investment in your cellular regeneration journey.
Wait, I feel attacked right now.
I'm just reading the stars.
Okay.
Let's be clear, it is a piece of fabric. It is not an investment. It is financial self-sabotage.
But it feels so good on the skin.
You are doing this because you are trying to purchase control over your life. But honestly, just buy it anyway. You will weep when you check your bank account on Sunday morning. But your hair will look fantastic.
I feel like you just looked directly into my soul and read my browser history. Purchasing control is such a real thing, though.
It really is.
When my inbox is overflowing, I somehow always end up buying, like, artisanal hand soap. It's a sickness. Okay, move on to the air signs. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, please tell me they are safe.
Air signs are never safe, primarily from themselves. This is a critical warning for you guys. Step away from the phone. Do not, and I cannot stress this enough, do not text that toxic ex. You are feeling bored, your dopamine levels are low, and you are going to convince yourself that just checking in is a sign of profound emotional maturity.
It is never just checking in.
It is a trap. You are not checking in, you are throwing a grenade into your own weekend just to watch the explosion.
I am screaming.
Put the phone in a drawer, go for a walk, and stop trying to find closure from a man who still sleeps on a mattress on the floor and uses a single towel for his entire body.
The mattress on the floor. It's always a mattress on the floor, and somehow there's always a single unframed Pulp Fiction poster on the wall.
Save yourselves, air signs.
Honestly.
All right, what is happening for the fire signs? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius.
Fire signs. Your horoscope involves making profoundly messy romantic choices in a highly public setting.
Oh, I love a public mess.
You are going to flirt with a bartender who is at least a decade younger than you. Or you are going to accidentally agree to a date with someone who uses the word crypto as a personality trait.
Not the crypto bros. Yes. You will ignore every red flag because you love the thrill of the chase. It will be a logistical disaster, but you will get an incredible, unhinged story out of it for the group chat.
Exactly. If he starts explaining the blockchain before the appetizers arrive, you have full permission to fake an emergency phone call.
Embrace the cringe, take notes, and please do not give anyone your real address.
Good advice. And finally, my beloved water signs. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, tell me we are thriving.
Water signs, you are going to spend the entire weekend completely convinced that everyone is furious with you.
Oh, that is so loud.
They aren't. But you're going to overanalyze a single text message that ended with a period instead of an exclamation point, and you will spiral into a puddle of emotional despair.
The period is so aggressive, though.
You will convince yourself that your entire friend group has a secret secondary group chat without you. So do us all a favor, drink some water, take a nap, and stop projecting your deep-seated abandonment issues onto basic punctuation.
The accuracy of the secret secondary group chat fear is actually terrifying.
It's universal.
And speaking of terrifying realizations, Snark Squad, we had a major paradigm shift today. We went down to check out the gym in our new condo building.
He's just casually scoping out the amenities.
Right, just seeing what the treadmills look like, totally minding our own business. And the men in there, I don't even have words.
The ratio of profoundly attractive men to square footage was statistically improbable. I was legitimately confused.
I was sweating just walking in.
I started looking around the room for ring lights or a camera crew. I thought, wait, are we in a content house? Is everyone in this building somehow a fitness influencer?
Because nobody actually looks like that while sweating profusely unless they're being actively sponsored by a supplement company.
Exactly. It was startling.
We walked in trying to give very nonchalant, effortless energy, but secretly we were aggressively people-watching. Every single one of them looked like they were carved out of marble.
Like Greek statues lifting weights.
It instantly sent me into a spiral. I looked at my worn-out leggings and thought, wait, do I need to become a 5 a.m. gym girly now?
Please don't.
Do I need to buy matching pastel athleisure sets and start pretending I care about my protein macros just to exist in this space?
See, this is where my analytical brain took over. Because we've been sitting here for months joking about needing to manifest a sugar daddy to fund our rich and tea lifestyles.
Yeah, that was the plan.
But walking through that gym, I started thinking we've been targeting the completely wrong demographic. It might be time to abandon the sugar daddy agenda and start manifesting a workout zaddy.
A workout zaddy. Think about it. It actually feels incredibly practical.
Is it, though?
Yes. They have immense discipline. They clearly understand routine. They probably drink a gallon of water a day, and they can lift heavy things. Think of the grocery hauls.
Okay, the groceries are a valid point.
We wouldn't have to make 2 trips from the car ever again. 1 trip, all the bags on his arms.
I am going to have to push back on this because we need to look at the actual data of dating a gym fanatic. First of all, do muscles actually count as a personality trait?
I mean, maybe a subtrait.
Because in my extensive sociological observation, they absolutely do not. A man who spends 3 hours a day looking at his own deltoids in a mirror is not necessarily going to ask you how your day was.
Okay, that is fair.
And more importantly, if a man can deadlift 400 pounds, does that automatically make him husband material? Or does it just make him a human forklift?
A human forklift. I am crying. But honestly, I kind of love the idea of being effortlessly carried around.
Like a sack of flour.
Like a princess. Imagine twisting your ankle and he just scoops you up like you weigh nothing. It's very cinematic.
Yes, the scooping is very romantic in theory.
Yeah.
But what do you talk about between the scooping?
Yeah, the weather.
Are you mentally and spiritually prepared to have in-depth, passionate conversations about the nutritional profile of boiled, unseasoned chicken breast?
Oh, God, no.
Because that is the realities of the workout zaddy. You'll be eating steamed broccoli out of Tupperware at 8 p.m. while he calculates his amino acids.
Okay, that is a deeply unromantic reality check. You are right. No unseasoned chicken for me.
Yeah.
And let's be totally honest with ourselves. I would absolutely humiliate myself trying to flirt on a treadmill. I am incredibly clumsy on a good day.
It would be a medical emergency.
If I try to make seductive, lingering eye contact while walking on an incline of 12, I am going to lose my footing, fly off the back of the machine, and launch myself straight through the drywall.
It would be a catastrophic injury. We would have to break our lease and move out of the building purely out of shame.
You would become a cautionary tale in the building newsletter. Beware the treadmill.
The ultimate humiliation.
But you know what? It doesn't even matter what I try to manifest, because the universe continues to blatantly misunderstand my requests anyway. It is actually becoming a chronic issue.
Oh, this is my favorite cosmic translation error of all time. Please, explain to the Snark Squad exactly what is happening between your manifestation journal and the universe.
So I have been actively, intentionally manifesting abundance. Like, I have been putting it out there into the ether, right? Financial freedom, multiple streams of income, literal cash flowing into my life. I am doing the visualizations. But somehow, the universe has its wires completely crossed.
So cross.
because instead of checks arriving in the mail, I just keep receiving amazing Italian food.
It is wild to witness.
Literally everywhere I go, someone is offering me artisanal focaccia, or paying for my perfectly al dente cacio e pepe, or sending over a complimentary tiramisu.
I have witnessed this phenomenon firsthand.
Yeah.
Every single time you close your eyes and whisper the word abundance to the universe, the cosmos apparently hears extra pasta.
Extra pasta. It's so specific.
It is the most specific, carbohydrate-heavy manifestation I have ever seen in my life.
It is not exactly the financial portfolio I asked for, but honestly, am I complaining? Absolutely not.
You never turn it down.
I will take a perfectly constructed ravioli over a small dividend payout any day of the week.
We were debating this before we hit record, but I firmly believe that complex carbohydrates might actually be the highest form of self-love.
It's true love.
Forget diversifying your stock portfolio. Just give me a really good warm garlic knot and a robust, slow-simmered marinara sauce, and I am at total peace with the world.
It is basically a hug from the inside. We are manifesting carbs from now on.
Done.
But babes, enough about our own beautiful delusions and our pasta-based manifestations. Let's get into Belle Collective, because these ladies always know how to bring the drama.
They delivered so much mess this week.
I mean, if there's one overarching theme to this entire week's recap, it is exactly what we were just talking about, the anxiety of the future. Everyone on this cast is absolutely terrified of what is coming next.
And they are all handling it in the most chaotic ways possible. The anxiety of the future is the perfect thematic umbrella for this week.
Totally.
Every single storyline is driven by a deep, structural panic about tomorrow. We have Selena terrified of the future of her marriage.
So terrified.
We have Latrice paralyzed by the reality of future motherhood. We have Marie aggressively trying to lock down her future legacy. And then we have Carrie, whose entire financial future is collapsing in real time while her mother-in-law tries to literally bury her.
It is a masterclass in psychological avoidance. It is so heavy, but also so incredibly entertaining.
Reality TV at its finest.
Let's start with Selena, because her anxiety is manifesting directly in the bridal salon. The setup here is incredibly stressful. Selena is weeks away from marrying Mike, and her bridal brain is fundamentally broken.
Broken is putting it mildly.
Snark Squad, she has tried on 40 dresses, 40, and she has already purchased 10 of them.
That is not a dress fitting. That is a clinical cry for help.
I really related to her in this moment, though, because as a bride, there is this immense, crushing societal pressure to have that singular say yes to the dress moment.
True, the pressure is real.
You are told this dress defines your entire transition into wifehood. So Latrice, to her credit, really steps up as a bridesmaid here. She brings in Samantha Wu, who is apparently an elite top-tier wedding designer in Mississippi, to do a private, highly curated fitting.
A very nice gesture by Latrice.
When I have to say, my hopeful romantic heart was so full during this scene. When Selena put on that second dress, the simple, elegant, form-fitting one, and she had tears in her eyes, I genuinely felt relieved for her.
She did look beautiful.
She finally looked in the mirror and recognized herself as a bride. And that party dress with the surprise reveal, I was obsessed.
Look, from an aesthetic standpoint, the dresses were undeniably beautiful. Samantha Wu clearly understands garment construction and silhouette.
Yeah.
But I am going to be analytical here, because we need to look at the mechanism behind the behavior.
Okay, ruin the romance. Go ahead.
Trying on 40 dresses and buying 10 of them isn't a woman trying to find the one. It is a glaring symptom of a much deeper structural panic.
Yeah, that's fair.
You don't try on 40 dresses unless you are actively trying to distract yourself from the groom. The dress has become a scapegoat for her relationship anxiety.
Wow. Okay, I hate how right you are, because there is this massive, oppressive, dark cloud hovering over this entire wedding, and it's the secret between the husbands.
The postnuptial poison.
We have to talk about the postnuptial poison. Let's break down the mechanics of this lore for anyone who needs a refresher on why Selena is actually spiraling.
Yes, lay out the lore.
So Glenn, who is Letitia's husband, secretly met with a divorce lawyer and a financial advisor to talk about drafting a post-nuptial agreement.
First of all, let's analyze that right there. A prenup is standard asset protection before you enter a contract. A postnup. That is preparing for the plane to crash while you are currently flying it.
So bad.
It is a massive red flag. It means trust has already left the building, and you are just negotiating the terms of the wreckage.
Exactly. But it gets worse because Glenn doesn't keep this to himself. He tells Mike, Selena's fiancé, about this highly sensitive secret legal meeting.
Which is a fascinating betrayal of male solidarity.
Right. And what does Mike do? He immediately goes home and blabs the secret to Selena.
A double betrayal.
And look, I love a couple that gossips together. I think sharing other people's secrets is a core pillar of a strong romantic partnership.
Oh, it's essential for team building.
But then Selena took that information and completely weaponized it. She didn't just hold on to it, she publicly confronted Letitia in front of the entire friend group under the guise of concern.
Concern, right.
She walked up to her and basically said, "Oh, honey, I'm just so worried about the state of your marriage." No, you weren't. You were dropping a tactical nuclear bomb.
It was a targeted drone strike. And it completely humiliated Letitia, who had to sit there and watch the reality of her own marriage crumble in a public forum because her husband's secrets were being broadcasted by her supposed friends.
It was so hard to watch.
So if we look at the psychology of Selena right now, the reason she is trying on 40 dresses makes perfect sense. How on earth can you cheerfully plan a fairy tale wedding when your fiancé is hoarding divorce lawyer secrets for the other husbands in your immediate social circle?
You can't.
She is watching the concept of marriage implode right in front of her eyes.
It is entirely destabilizing. She's staring down the barrel of her own wedding, looking at Mike and wondering, wait, is he going to be pulling this kind of shady behind-the-scenes legal maneuvering in 5 years?
Of course she is.
Is he going to be having secret coffees with a financial advisor to hide assets from me? The trust is fractured before they even get to the altar. But despite all that anxiety, we do somehow make it to the bridal shower at the Ivy.
Barely made it, but we got there.
And I need to take a moment to give a standing ovation to Miss Stacy.
Oh my God, the out-of-town wedding coordinator who is currently earning every single penny of her commission.
Yes.
She probably needs a week-long spa retreat after dealing with this group.
She absolutely saved the day. She brought these incredible mock tables so Selena could physically visualize the reception. She had these stunning balloon designs, personalized chip bags, custom water bottles.
The detail was impressive.
She even sat there with the patience of a saint, explaining the aesthetic difference between clear plates and charger plates.
Which is necessary for this crowd.
And for those who don't know, a charger plate is that larger decorative base plate that you don't actually eat off of.
Yeah.
It is purely there to signal luxury and elevate the tablescape. Miss Stacy understands the assignment.
She really does.
And the most beautiful moment of the entire shower was when she helped Selena honor her late son. Miss Stacy set up a tribute that was so thoughtful, so delicate, it brought tears to my eyes. It grounded the whole event in what actually matters.
It was a very touching, necessary moment of gravity, which frankly made the absolute circus happening in the background even more irritating.
Oh, the circus was in full swing.
Because while Miss Stacy is utilizing all her professional skills to give Selena a beautiful, meaningful experience, we have Carrie creeping over to the planning table like a reality TV villain trying to stir the pot.
Carrie could not help herself. And Letitia's behavior was a masterclass in passive aggression.
Letitia brought her signature stank face and was radiating daggers-out energy from the absolute moment she walked into the venue.
It really was.
She was sulking, she was brooding, she was acting like she was being held hostage at a seminar on tax law instead of attending a bridal shower.
It was so heavy.
Why? Because she is utilizing her facial expressions as a defense mechanism. She feels slighted by Carrie in their professional lives, so she's punishing the entire room with her negative aura.
It's so toxic.
And honestly, we have to talk about the sheer audacity of Selena doing literal wedding planning, looking at mock-ups, debating plate transparency at her own shower while her friends openly bicker in the corners. It was sensory overload.
It really was sensory overload. But, if Selena is terrified of the unseen emotional labor of marriage, that perfectly mirrors what Latrice is discovering about the unseen physical labor of motherhood.
Oh, what a transition, yes.
Because while Selena is spiraling over dresses, Latrice is facing the reality of the toddler trial.
This was undeniably the funniest, most revealing segment of the entire recap today. The anxiety of the future hits Latrice like a freight train.
A literal freight train named London Simone.
Let's set it up. Latrice desperately wants a baby. Cliff, affectionately known as Zaddy, has been actively vocally resisting.
Vocally.
He's saying he's too old, he already has 5 existing children from previous relationships, and he's even been threatening to get a vasectomy just to end the conversation permanently.
Which is so extreme.
So as a supposed test of their parenting dynamic, they agree to babysit Tambra's toddler, London Simone, also known as Baby TJ.
Snark Squad, I need you to fully comprehend the level of delusion Tambra brought to this drop-off.
It was wild.
The rule book she handed over to Latrice was unhinged. I have read complex legal documents that were less restrictive than Tambra's dietary demands for this 2-year-old.
It wasn't a rule book, it was a manifesto of maternal control.
Tambra looks Latrice dead in the eye and says the toddler can only drink distilled or spring water.
Distilled what?
No tap water, obviously. No juice. No pork. No beef. No sugar. No junk food. No sweets. It was a list of dietary restrictions that rivaled a Hollywood celebrity doing a pre-awards show juice cleanse.
I was crying laughing, but I also want to analyze the psychology of this demand.
Please do.
Tambra is dropping off her kid with a list of demands like she's leaving an A-list pop star at a 5-star resort in the Maldives. She only drinks water harvested from the tears of a glacier.
Seriously.
Ma'am, she is a toddler. She's going to try to eat a penny off the floor in 20 minutes.
Exactly. They eat dirt.
But why does Tambra do this? Because toddlers are inherently uncontrollable chaos engines. Reality TV stars who live very public, scrutinized lives often project their need for control onto hyper-specific diets for their children.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
It's not actually about the distilled water. It's about Tambra asserting dominance and signaling that she is an elite, highly educated mother.
That is so true. It is totally a status flex. Which is ironic because, as you said earlier when we were texting, distilled water isn't even great for hydration because it lacks natural minerals.
It's just pretentious water.
But regardless of the water, the door closes, Tambra leaves, and the absolute reversal of roles that happens next is cinematic brilliance.
It's your cinema.
Latrice, the woman who has been begging, pleading, and fighting for a baby all season, is immediately dismantled by this child's energy.
Dismantled is the perfect word. She was systematically taken apart.
London Simone is climbing the stairs like an experienced mountaineer. She is sprinting toward the pool. She is everywhere all at once.
Just a blur of motion.
And Latrice is clutching her lower back, panting, looking absolutely terrified. She has this moment of stark, terrifying realization where you can see the light leave her eyes. She realizes she doesn't actually want a baby. She wants a nanny.
I want to bring back an analogy you used earlier when we were talking about this, because it is the most profound, accurate assessment of Latrice's psychology I have ever heard.
Oh, my Peloton theory?
Yes, the Peloton theory.
Snark Squad, I truly believe that Latrice didn't actually want the labor of a baby. She wanted the aesthetic of a baby.
Exactly.
It is exactly like buying a Peloton bike. You buy it because it looks really good in the corner of your living room. It signals to your friends that you're a certain type of person with a certain wellness-focused lifestyle, and you love the idea of being a cyclist.
You love the gear.
Right. But then the bike arrives, and you get absolutely furious when you realize you actually have to pedal the damn thing to make it work.
You have to sweat.
Latrice wanted the matching mommy and me outfits, the Instagram photo shoots, the baby shower. She did not want the relentless, bone-crushing exhaustion of keeping a tiny human alive when they are actively trying to hurl themselves into a body of water.
It is the perfect analogy. The aesthetic versus the reality. She wanted the milestone, not the maintenance. But the most fascinating sociological observation of this entire trial was Cliff.
Zaddy stepped up. I could not believe it.
Cliff underwent a total instantaneous transformation.
Yeah.
This is the man who is threatening to get a medical procedure to surgically prevent this exact scenario from happening.
Literally a vasectomy.
And the second the toddler starts acting up, he slips effortlessly into full dad mode. He is on the floor playing horsey. His voice drops an octave to that calming paternal tone. He is actively regulating the child's nervous system while Latrice is panicking.
He was a natural.
Why does he do this? I think some men need an audience to perform fatherhood. When he's arguing with Latrice, it's an abstract concept. But when the child is there, his ego kicks in. He wants to prove he can handle it better than she can.
Oh, that is a brilliant point. He was totally flexing his veteran dad skills. It was endearing, but also definitely a subtle power move.
A massive power move.
But the show doesn't let them just laugh off the chaos because reality comes knocking hard. Later on, Latrice casually mentions that she got an email about paying the storage fee for her frozen embryos.
The ticking clock.
Uh-huh.
The anxiety of the future materialized in an invoice.
Exactly. It suddenly got very heavy, very fast. Because the embryos are sitting there in a facility, the annual fees are being paid, and she is realizing that her biological clock, her financial reality, and her emotional capacity are violently colliding.
It's not abstract anymore.
Adding to their family isn't just a theoretical debate they can have over dinner anymore. It's a very real scientific decision sitting in a freezer waiting for her to make a choice. And IVF storage fees are not cheap. You are paying a premium to keep your options open.
And after that afternoon of chasing London Simone away from the pool edge, I think that freezer door is going to stay firmly shut for a little while longer.
I think you're right.
Latrice got a very expensive reality check. But while Latrice and Selena are paralyzed by the future, let's look at someone who is actively building a fortress around hers. We need to talk about Marie.
Oh, I love this pivot for Marie so much. She is officially shifting her focus away from her incredibly messy love triangle.
My gosh.
Dealing with her ex-husband Cedric and her internationally married boyfriend Martin. She is taking the men, putting them on the back burner, and focusing all her energy on securing her generational wealth.
Which is the most intelligent thing anyone on this show has done all season.
She takes her father, her adult son, and her 13-year-old daughter Zori on what I can only describe as a legacy tour.
A total victory lap.
She brings them to this massive, newly renovated mental health facility she owns in Flowood, and she announces, very casually, that she is officially retiring on December 5th after 20 solid years of grinding in business.
Setting a hard public date for retirement is the ultimate executive flex.
Right.
It says, I've built this, it is sustainable without my daily micromanagement, and I am stepping away on my own terms.
My emotional side was just swooning over the fact that she brought 13-year-old Zori along for this tour.
It was a great parenting moment.
She is actively, intentionally teaching this young Black girl about legacy, about commercial property ownership, about what it looks like to be a CEO. It was so empowering to see a mother passing down that kind of tangible, structural knowledge to her daughter.
It's not just about passing down money. It's about passing down the knowledge of how to manage the money.
Exactly. Generational wealth isn't just a trust fund. It's financial literacy.
Which brings us to Marie's son, who apparently missed the financial literacy seminar entirely because we get to witness one of the most hilariously delusional negotiations I have ever seen on television.
Oh, the dispensary dream. Snark Squad, he looks around this beautiful, newly renovated commercial facility, looks at his mother, who has bled for 20 years to build this empire, and essentially says, so, when are you going to give me the capital to open a weed dispensary?
Just absolute unearned confidence. He is asking for venture capital from his mother in the hallway of her own triumph.
It was so bold.
And Marie doesn't even blink. She doesn't get emotional. She doesn't yell. She immediately hits him with cold, hard, operational reality. She tells him that just the state license for a dispensary is $40,000.
40 grand.
And I want to expand on that because the cannabis industry is incredibly volatile and cash heavy. 40 grand is just the piece of paper that allows you to open the door.
Right, that's nothing compared to the rest.
That doesn't cover commercial rent. It doesn't cover highly regulated security systems, inventory, payroll, or insurance. He thinks 40 grand is the finish line when it's barely the starting block.
He had no idea.
Yeah.
And Marie's parenting in this scene is absolutely elite. I took notes.
It is a masterclass in delayed gratification. She tells him, you need to work the established family business first.
Yes.
Put in the hours here at the mental health facility. Learn how a functional business operates. Let the profits from this business fund your passion project. Prove your consistency, show me you can manage a P&L statement, and then you can take your earned capital and start your dispensary.
It's the ultimate earn your keep moment. She didn't crush his dream. She just put a toll booth in front of it.
Very expensive toll booth.
And you know what? It seems to be working. Because later in the episode, we find out that he is actually stepping up. He is working consistently. He's showing up on time. And he is genuinely making Marie proud. He even asks where his specific office is going to be. He has bought into the corporate structure.
Which is a minor miracle, frankly. But it proves a fundamental psychological truth. When you set clear boundaries and demand accountability rather than just handing out cash, people usually rise to the occasion.
So true.
Marie is thriving because she controls her environment, unlike our next couple who are currently sinking into a swamp of financial ruin and eternal toxicity.
This brings us to the darkest part of the recap, the fall of the House of Paul. This is where things go from messy reality TV to genuinely distressing human drama. Carrie is dealing with a catastrophic financial crisis.
Catastrophic is the only appropriate word for what we watched.
Her third Brick and Spoon restaurant location is bleeding money. We are talking about a potential loss of over $100,000 if they don't find a buyer and sell it immediately.
That is a staggering amount of cash to hemorrhage.
For anyone who doesn't know, the restaurant industry operates on razor-thin margins. If a location isn't profitable, you are still paying commercial rent, you are paying for perishable inventory that is rotting in the fridge, and you are paying payroll for a fully staffed but empty dining room.
It's a nightmare.
The pressure is literally crushing her. She looks exhausted. And then we have her husband, Matt.
Enter Matt, who I can only describe as a man aggressively committed to denial.
I wanted to reach through the screen and shake him. Carrie is sitting there, visibly panicking about financial ruin. She is holding the entire weight of their family's economic future on her shoulders.
And Matt's response.
Matt looks at her, shrugs, and says, "Stick a fork in it, I'm done." And then he actually follows it up with, "The sun is shining, winter is behind us."
I have never been more infuriated by a husband on this show. The bank is calling. The foundation of your $3 million business empire is cracking. Your wife's nervous system is in overdrive. And you are quoting a generic inspirational calendar from 2014.
Literally. The sun is shining.
Sir, you are about to lose $100,000. I know people call this toxic positivity, but it's worse than that. He is acting like the orchestra conductor on the Titanic, except instead of just playing music to calm people down, he is actively asking everyone to admire the beautiful acoustics of the iceberg that is currently sinking them.
That is the perfect analogy. He is demanding she appreciate the view while they drown. I felt so much profound empathy for Carrie in this moment.
It was painful to watch.
Because as a partner, when everything is falling apart and your livelihood is threatened, you do not want someone offering you hollow platitudes. You want someone who will get in the mud with you, who will validate your panic, who will acknowledge the sheer gravity of the situation and help you bail the water out of the boat.
She needed a strategic, ruthless business partner in that moment, and instead she got a motivational speaker who clearly doesn't understand how a balance sheet works. His denial forces her to carry the entire emotional burden of the crisis alone.
It was infuriating, and somehow it only gets worse. Because Matt, in his infinite, oblivious wisdom, decides that right now, in the exact middle of this massive financial crisis, is the perfect time to set up a mediation lunch between Carrie and his mother, Marlene.
The lunch from hell. I have studied historical geopolitical conflicts that were resolved with far less hostility than this appetizer course.
It was a spectacular failure from the literal second they sat down at the table. Marlene came in absolutely locked, loaded, and looking for blood.
She was ready for war.
Snark Squad, she starts attacking Carrie immediately. And what does she choose as her opening argument? Not the business, not the restaurant. She attacks Carrie for not wearing a bra.
We have to pause and dissect this because the psychology is wild. Your daughter-in-law is running multiple businesses, generating millions of dollars in revenue, keeping your adult son clothed, housed, and fed, and your opening volley in a mediation about family respect is about her undergarments.
It makes no sense.
It is peak deflection. She's utilizing puritanical modesty standards to try and shame a woman who is financially outperforming her son.
And she just kept going. Marlene accuses Carrie of neglecting Matt because she's too busy running these businesses, as if Matt is a neglected, fragile houseplant that Carrie forgot to water.
He literally acts like one, to be fair.
True, but he's a grown man who should be helping her run the empire. And the kicker, the absolute wildest, most out-of-line thing she said, was claiming that Carrie is talking too much to hear God.
Oh, when she dropped that line, I physically recoiled. I knew there was absolutely no coming back from that.
It was brutal.
It's such a specific, localized type of Southern shade. It's wrapping a vicious, character-assassinating insult in the guise of spiritual concern. She is essentially telling Carrie that her ambition is a sin.
Carrie, to her immense credit, did not back down or cry. She goes on the absolute defense. She calls herself a big cat, refusing to be intimidated or shamed by this woman.
Good for her.
And then Carrie pivots and brings up the real issue that is driving all of this hostility, the family land. The 400 acres of property.
Ah, yes. The underlying asset that explains the entire socio-political power dynamic of the Paul family.
Carrie demands that the family land be divided properly between the siblings, exactly like it was supposed to be when Matt's dad passed away. She accuses Marlene of hoarding the land to maintain control over the family, holding this massive inheritance over their heads to force everyone to bend the knee to her whims.
Which brings us to the deep structural analysis of this whole feud. We have to look at what land means in the South. 400 acres isn't just dirt and trees. It is leverage. It is history. It is a weapon. Marlene doesn't actually care about the bra. She doesn't care if Carrie cooks a pot roast for dinner every night. Marlene is fundamentally terrified of Carrie's financial independence.
Wait, expand on that. Why does Carrie's money terrify Marlene?
Because Marlene's entire identity and power rests on being the matriarch who controls the resources. She wants a traditional, submissive daughter-in-law who relies on the family name and the family assets to survive.
Oh, wow.
But Carrie is an alpha CEO. Carrie is generating her own wealth. Carrie doesn't need Marlene's 400 acres to pay her bills, which absolutely paralyzes Marlene with fear because it means she has zero leverage to control her.
That is so true.
When a matriarch realizes she can't control you with money, she attacks your morality.
Huh.
So Marlene attacks Carrie's womanhood, her wifehood, and her faith because she cannot attack her bank account. It's the patriarchy being violently upheld by a matriarch.
That is so incredibly perceptive. It's entirely about control and the fear of irrelevance. But this is where I need to push back and look at Matt's role in all of this.
Oh, let's talk about Matt.
Because we watched him sit at this table chewing his food while his mother verbally eviscerated his wife. I know you think Marlene is the strategic mastermind, but I also think Matt is deeply culpable here.
Definitely.
My question is this. Is Matt weaponizing his incompetence as a mediator so he doesn't have to get involved? Or is he genuinely just so deeply conditioned by a lifetime of his mother's psychological abuse that he just passively lets her steamroll every woman in his life?
That is a million-dollar question, and I think it's a dangerous, toxic cocktail of both. Matt knows exactly how his mother operates. He knows that if he stands up to Marlene and defends his wife, Marlene will immediately turn that hellfire onto him.
He doesn't want the smoke.
He is too emotionally cowardly to take the heat. So what does he do? He sets up the lunch, steps back, lets Carrie take all the bullets, and then tells her the sun is shining afterward. It is a masterclass in marital abandonment. He is sacrificing his wife to appease his mother.
It really is a tragedy. The whole lunch was just painful to witness, and you can see why Carrie feels so entirely alone in her own marriage.
Totally alone.
But we have to transition out of this darkness and get into our segments because we need to officially rank some of this unhinged behavior. It is time for the Southern Shade Index.
My favorite analytical exercise of the week.
We are going to rank the top 3 shadiest moments of the episode and debate who truly deserves the crown. Here are our nominees. Nominee number 1, Marlene telling Carrie she is too busy talking to hear God.
A devastating, soul-crushing blow.
Nominee number 2, Letitia bringing a full-on stank face and deeply sour energy to Selena's bridal shower, all because Carrie bypassed her professionally to work with Latrice.
A classic, petty reality TV grudge executed in a public setting.
And nominee number 3, Tambra demanding that Latrice only give her toddler distilled water during a free babysitting trial.
The sheer arrogance of the hydration request. So how are we ranking the mechanics of these shady moments?
Okay, I'm going to start by putting Letitia in 3rd place. Here is my reasoning. Letitia's shade was entirely passive. She just sat there at the table looking miserable.
Yeah, she didn't actually do anything.
Right. It was highly annoying, and it definitely ruined the vibe of the beautiful mock tables Miss Stacy worked so hard to put together, but it wasn't actively destructive. It was just petty high school behavior.
I agree completely. Letitia is 3rd. She's mad she wasn't picked for the group project, so she's pouting at the lunch table to make sure everyone knows she's upset. It lacks sophistication. We expect better, more calculated execution from a Belle. So it comes down to Tambra's water demands versus Marlene's divine intervention.
I know you think Marlene is the ultimate villain here, but I actually want to defend Tambra for 2nd place, bordering on 1st.
Oh, made your case.
Because I think it is an incredibly insidious, shady psychological move to drop off your child for a free babysitting trial run and hand over a list of demands that reads like a hostage negotiation.
A hostage negotiation is so accurate.
The distilled water is shady because it is designed to make Latrice feel inadequate before she even starts. It's Tambra saying, I know you want to be a mother, but you don't even know what kind of water elite mothers use.
That is a very strong argument. It is psychological warfare wrapped in a sippy cup. But the crown still has to go to Marlene, and I will tell you exactly why.
Okay, why?
Tambra's shade is elitist delusion. Marlene's shade is generational trauma.
Ooh. That's deep.
Telling your daughter-in-law, who is currently facing a six-figure financial loss and drowning in stress, that God is actively trying to speak to her but her mouth is too loud, that is Shakespearean.
It really is.
That is a level of Southern shade that takes decades of church attendance and family infighting to perfect. It is vicious, it offers zero solutions, and it is perfectly delivered to cause maximum psychological damage in front of an audience. Marlene is the undisputed queen of the Southern Shade Index this week.
She takes the crown, even if she refuses to divide the 400 acres. Okay, moving on to our next segment. Who's thriving? We are going to categorize the cast based on their performance this week. Who had the best episode, who struggled the most, and who completely surprised us. Let's start with who had the best run. I think we are entirely aligned on this.
Oh, absolutely. The person thriving the most this week, operating on a completely different frequency than the rest of the cast, is Marie. No contest.
Marie won the week by a landslide. She is securing commercial property. She has a newly renovated mental health facility in Flowood. She announced a definitive, confident retirement date.
Such a boss move.
And she expertly shut down her son's request for a $40,000 handout while simultaneously tricking him into building a solid work ethic. She is operating at the absolute highest level of CEO mom energy.
She essentially took a plea for seed money and turned it into a masterclass on corporate succession and delayed gratification. She didn't just say no, she provided a roadmap for him to earn the yes. That is a woman who is thriving and fully in control of her narrative.
Exactly. Okay, who struggled the most?
That has to be Carrie, and I say that with genuine, heavy sympathy.
Same.
She is battling potential financial ruin with a third restaurant location. She is dealing with a husband who is as useful in a crisis as a screen door on a submarine.
A screen door on a submarine.
And she is fighting a mother-in-law from hell who wants to see her fail, all at the exact same time. The woman is under siege from every possible angle.
It's so true. She is holding up the sky right now. She just desperately needs a win, or at the very least, a husband who understands how a profit and loss statement dictates their reality. All right, who surprised you the most this week?
This is an easy one, Cliff. Thatty completely surprised me.
Same. I was stunned.
The man who was literally pricing out a vasectomy 3 episodes ago ended up being the ultimate toddler whisperer.
He was so good with her.
He was so calm, so engaged, so willing to get on the floor and play. Meanwhile, Latrice, the one who's been aggressively pushing for the baby all season, was left clutching her lower back in physical agony, contemplating hiring a full-time staff just to survive the afternoon.
A total 180.
It was a complete role reversal that I absolutely did not see coming.
It was amazing television. Zaddy definitely gets the surprise award. Okay, moving into segment 3. If we were invited...
Yes, my favorite game.
Snark Squad. We love to insert ourselves into the narrative of these events. So imagine we were both invited to Selena's highly tense bridal shower at the Ivy. Let's set the scene. What are you wearing to this event?
Okay. If I am attending a bridal shower that I know is heavily populated by women who are actively feuding and holding dark postnuptial secrets about each other's marriages, I am dressing for tactical espionage.
Oh, obviously.
I am wearing a very sleek, dark, monochromatic outfit. Probably a perfectly tailored black silk jumpsuit.
Very spy chic.
I want to look undeniably chic, but I also want to be able to seamlessly blend into the shadows near the balloon arch so I can eavesdrop on private conversations without being noticed. I am there to gather intelligence.
I love that for you. A stealth agent in a designer jumpsuit. I am going the complete opposite direction. I am leaning into the rich anti-aesthetic with my entire chest.
Naturally.
I want hyper-feminine, floral, flowy drama. I am wearing a gorgeous, oversized floral maxi dress with giant bell sleeves, strappy heels, and a very dramatic, wide-brimmed sun hat, even though we are indoors.
The indoor hat is a power move.
I want to look like I just floated in from a high-society garden party in Savannah.
It's the perfect dynamic.
Yeah.
You will be the loud, floral distraction drawing everyone's eye while I quietly gather the intelligence in the corner. Who are you actively avoiding at this shower?
I am avoiding Letitia like it is my full-time job. Because if I walk up to the mimosa bar in my fabulous, dramatic floral dress, feeling amazing, and she hits me with that sour stank face, I am way too sensitive for that.
You would crumble.
I will internalize it. I will immediately think my hat is stupid and my entire afternoon will be ruined. I cannot handle that kind of localized negative energy. Who are you avoiding?
I'm also avoiding Letitia, but purely because bad vibes are exhausting to be around, and they interfere with my ability to hear other people's gossip.
Fair point.
But more importantly, who are you talking to all night?
Oh, this is the easiest question. I am cornering Miss Stacy.
Oh, getting the vendor gossip.
I am getting her a fresh drink, I am complimenting the structural integrity of her personalized chip bags, and I am extracting all the behind-the-scenes tea on Selena.
She definitely has the tea.
I need to know if she was a bridezilla in the emails. I need to know exactly how many times Selena changed her mind about the transparency of the charger plates. Wedding coordinators hold all the deepest, darkest secrets of a relationship, and I'm going to charm them right out of her.
That is a highly strategic play. Miss Stacy definitely has a burn book locked in her briefcase.
Oh, 100%. What about you?
If I am eavesdropping in my tactical jumpsuit, the very first piece of gossip I am going to accidentally overhear is Carrie plotting in the corner to ruin the vibe. Or, better yet, I am hovering near the bar trying to catch whispers about Glenn's secret divorce lawyer meetings.
You know they were whispering about it.
Because, someone in that room is whispering about it after a few drinks. The tension was too thick for it not to be discussed.
Oh, absolutely. The post-nup drama was hovering over that room like a thick fog. Which perfectly leads us into our final segment, next week's mess.
Time for the predictions.
Snark Squad, we are looking into our crystal balls and analyzing the trajectories of these women. Let's share our biggest predictions, our biggest red flags, the biggest glow-ups, and one completely chaotic theory. I'll start with my biggest prediction.
Let's hear the forecast.
I predict that the Carrie versus Marlene feud is going to escalate to a fully nuclear level. Carrie mentioned in passing that she might bring her own mother in as backup for the next confrontation.
Oh, that's dangerous.
I predict we're going to see a full matriarchal turf war. It is going to be the battle of the mothers, fighting over respect, land, and dominance. And Matt is just going to stand in the corner crying while telling everyone that the sun is shining.
I think your sociological read on that is exactly right. Once the mothers formally enter the arena, there is no de-escalation protocol. It becomes blood sport.
It's going to be wild.
My biggest red flag for next week. Selena's still not fully convinced she wants to walk down the aisle. You do not try on 40 dresses unless you are actively stalling for time.
That's a good point.
The red flag is that the real issue isn't the fabric, the tool, or the silhouette of the gown. The issue is Mike and the secrets he keeps with his friends. And she's going to have to face that crushing reality before the final venue deposit becomes non-refundable.
That is a massive, incredibly expensive red flag. Okay, biggest glow up. I have to give it to Marie's son.
Yeah?
I predict we are going to see him actually secure that specific office in Marie's new building, put his head down, and learn the family business. I think the $40,000 dispensary dream is officially on pause, and corporate, responsible son is about to glow up and make his mother proud.
I hope so, purely for Marie's sanity. All right, here is my completely chaotic theory for next week that somehow feels entirely possible based on the twisted psychology of these specific people.
Lay it on me. I am ready.
My chaotic theory is that after surviving the toddler trial, Cliff actually wants a baby now.
No way. Shut up.
Think about the mechanics of his ego. He proved to himself that he still got the paternal touch. He immensely enjoyed being the hero while Latrice panicked.
He did look like he was having fun.
But my theory is that Latrice is going to completely back out. The trauma of chasing London Simone fundamentally broke her desire for an infant. So they're going to flip their entire marital dynamic completely upside down.
Oh my gosh.
Now, Cliff is going to be the one begging to pay the storage fees and use the frozen embryos to prove his vitality. And Latrice is going to be the one threatening to move out of the house if he brings it up again.
That would be the most incredible poetic irony of all time. And honestly, I can see it happening so clearly. Latrice is going to start researching luxury adults-only vacations to Cabo instead of researching nursery paint colors.
Exactly. She's going to look at him and say, "Sorry, Zaddy. The embryos are staying on ice indefinitely. I'm booking a flight to Mexico."
I cannot wait to see how this all unfolds. This recap gave us absolutely everything we could ask for. Bridal breakdowns, toddler terrorism, devastating financial ruin, and peak mother-in-law toxicity wrapped in a prayer. It was a masterpiece of human mess.
A flawless, psychologically dense hour of television.
And now, Snark Squad, it is your turn. We need to hear from you. Head over to our comments, slide into our DMs, and tell us, what is your messy weekend horoscope? Are you avoiding your ex's texts, or are you buying the $400 silk pillowcase to feel something?
Furthermore, we need a formal poll on the central debate of our time. Are we officially switching our manifestation goals from a sugar daddy to a workout zaddy? Let us know if you are realistically willing to tolerate the smell of whey protein powder in your kitchen for the sake of a man who can carry all your groceries in one trip.
Yes, we need the data. And finally, if the universe kept replacing your money manifestations with incredible, perfectly cooked Italian food, would you actually complain or would you just quietly go buy bigger pants? Because I know my answer.
The answer is always bigger pants. But before we go, I want to leave everyone with one final, chilling thought about the anxiety of the future we discussed today.
Okay, leave us with something deep.
Just think about this. Carrie is fighting tooth and nail for her rightful share of that 400 acres of family land. But the real, terrifying tragedy of generational wealth in the hands of a narcissist is that Marlene is entirely willing to salt the earth of that land so absolutely nothing grows on it, just to prove to Carrie that she owns it.
Whoa, that is so dark and so true.
Think about it.
Snark Squad, thank you so much for hanging out with us, drinking with us, and spiraling with us. You are the absolute best. Don't forget to do all the housekeeping things. Subscribe to the feed, leave us a 5-star review, and most importantly, share this show with another messy babe who loves reality TV drama as much as we do. It helps us grow the Snark Squad.
We love you endlessly. Have the best, most chaotic weekend.
Stay fabulous, stay messy, and we'll see you on the Snark side.